and David Juhren is here with us, and Laura. And David is the author of The Code, and he writes for Laura's publishing company. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me, Charlie. I came out of the closet about 10 years ago and found that I really needed validation as a gay person. And so I did a lot of research on historical figures throughout history of people who contributed to civilization, our culture, and where we were, who were in fact gay. And I came across this really interesting person who, during World War II, helped save England, if you would, by solving the codes that the Nazis were putting into using for their messages. And his name was Alan Turing, and he was a mathematician who was discovered to be gay. And he was forced to go through this really terrible procedure to try to fix his gayness, to which he evidently committed suicide. But this was years after he had basically saved the country, saved Great Britain from the Nazis by solving the Enigma riddle. The Enigma was the name of the machine that the Nazis were using. I found this fascinating, and these ideas and the story plot just started. I just opened up my laptop one morning and started typing this story that just started coming out, and it was basically a release of energy, of being closeted and now coming out and having all this wonderful energy, which I put into this novel. And I'd worked on it, and I had submitted it to a number of people, a number of publishers, and not too much got back, but eventually a friend of mine said, you know, you really have to keep submitting that, and I did, and that's when Men Love Romance picked it up, and saw that it was a unique historical outlook on romance, and there is a romance in it. They're the two main heroes.
And that's this one?
Yes, the two main characters are Roger and Clive, who is English. He's an English naval captain, and Roger is an American attaché, and they're teamed up to help solve the Enigma, the machine that the Nazis were using to put their message in the code. And they're teamed up and they fall in love with each other. And at a time when it was really not safe for two men to be in love with each other. So.
Okay, another question from our viewers. I think this might be sort of the same, but it says, how do straight women view male-male romance? And what's the gratification there?
Oh, basically because we love men, and you know, romance is fantasy, and if you can take two of the things you love the best, which is a gorgeous man, and you can put them together with equal power, or even a little lesser, but these are two strong men, and men have flaws and things, but that's the part sometimes we love about them, is that, you know, there's little things that we can fix or repair, and we love to build and shape and whatnot. But you can put those two in there, and you just have freedom of that extra power source. And you take the two things you love the best, and you have them do the thing you love most, and it's like being, I suppose, a boy, or you can sit back and you can enjoy what you enjoy most about men,
right.
Times two.
Times two.
And
she said it all.
Exactly. And I think, and I believe, as a gay man, I believe that the percentage of those who read it, they themselves want that romance. They want that part too. I think they read for very similar reasons, but not to. But there might be people, again, as you mentioned earlier, who think, a certain group of people in this country who think that being gay is just about the sex. It's
right.
about the romance, and it's about finding somebody who's going to ride up on a white steed and take care of you, or vice versa. You ride up on a steed and take care of them. And that's what's so wonderful about it, is that you can oftentimes serve both. You can take both positions at a time.
Right.
But it's really about the romance. It's about a relationship, and it's about reading about characters that are deep and rich and bring color to themselves.
Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for coming by. If you have more questions, feel free to come and contact us at FX Gay TV, Fruta Extraña, or instituteofpleasure.org, where you can get more information about these wonderful authors and the publisher, and they're soon to be an all-time favorite of yours. Make sure that you contact us with any questions, comments, anything you want to see. And thank you so much for being with us, and being part of our world and part of
Thank you for having
theirs.
us.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being with us.
So